Welcome back to my 10th World Cup. I'm Becca. I'm a lifelong U.S. men's national team fan watching the 2026 World Cup with my kids. Today we're going to talk about the top 5 worst moments ever for the U.S. men's national team.
Okay.
Should we start with number 1 or number 5?
I think 5, because we'll build it up, you know.
Okay.
All right.
So I feel like the top 3 are really clear to me, and then after that there's an argument.
Yeah.
But my number 5 is Greg Berhalter versus Claudia Reyna, which was this giant controversy.
Yeah, it was huge.
Right after the 2022 World Cup, where
you can still see it because he wouldn't play Gio Reyna. That's why the whole thing, it was a whole thing.
Yeah, it was a whole thing, and now they're both on the Gio Reyna and Sebastian Berhalter
I wonder
are
if
both
that'll
on the
take a
team.
new feud. Yeah, that would be really.
But they
funny.
grew up together because their
Yeah.
dads were best friends. So
Yeah.
I wonder if they're just cool now.
Yeah.
But anyway, after the 2022 World Cup, the head coach, Greg Berhalter, came out in a conversation. He was giving a leadership talk, and it came out that he almost had to send Gio Reyna home during the 2022 World Cup. And then Gio Reyna's dad, Claudia Reyna, who was Greg Berhalter's teammate and friend, came out with some very sus info about Greg Berhalter and his wife from 20 years before. And it was just basically
he totally didn't kick his wife.
I mean, I think he did. Anyway, it was a melodrama and just a bad look. It was really a bad look. So that was number 5.
What about your number 4?
Number 4 is in 2014, Jurgen Klinsmann was our coach, and for some reason, he decided not to bring Landon Donovan to the World Cup.
Wait, what? I did not know about this.
Yeah,
What?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So Landon Donovan was in a strange place in his career. He'd taken some time off. No. He had just taken some time off, for mental health reasons. Yeah. But he'd come back, and he was Landon freaking Donovan, and he's the whole reason why we were decent in 2010. Not the whole reason, we had a good team, but he was our best player for a long time, and it was a giant snub that Klinsmann refused to bring him. And I think he was kind of coming from the mindset of well, he elected to take time off, and all these other players worked really hard, and I want to bring the players that brought me through qualifying and whatever. But I think our team in 2014 could have. I mean, we took Belgium. We lost 2-1 to Belgium in the round of 16, and I mean, it took Tim Howard standing on his head and making a record number of saves in that game for us to do decent. But we had chances. If Landon Donovan got the chance that Chris Wondolowski got at the end of that game, we'd have gone through, or at least gone through to more overtime or penalties. Yeah. It was in overtime.
So how about you took our number 3?
Oh my gosh, number 3. Number 3, even though I think it's number 3 on the list, might be the one that makes me the most viscerally upset. So my number 3 worst moment ever for the U.S. men's national team is the handball on the line that Germany made during our game against them, round of 16 game against them in
2022.
2022, sorry, quarterfinal game against them in 2002.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so in 2002 we played Germany. We got through our group. We played Mexico, beat them 2-0 in the next round, and then we went on to play Germany. That's the farthest we've ever gotten in the tournament. Mm-hmm. And
we should have gotten farther.
We should have gotten a penalty kick. Torsten Frings was a defender for Germany, and he literally handballed the ball out of the goal on the line, and there was no VAR back in the day, and the ref didn't call it, and that was that.
That's not okay.
It was not okay. I mean,
want to.
It was really not okay. And you know who the shooter was who shot that is Greg Berhalter, actually. Isn't that funny? He was a header. But yeah.
It's beautiful.
So that's my number 3 is Torsten Frings, the name that we will always remember. I think we should probably remember the ref more poorly than that player. But yeah, that's number 3.
Yeah. Okay, well, our number 2 might be what makes me the most upset, to be honest.
I think number 1 is going to make you the most upset.
Maybe. But number 2 is I'm sorry.
So number 2, in 1998, we came in 32nd out of 32 teams. That's my number 2. After the momentum that we had from the 94 World Cup and Major League Soccer starting in 96, and soccer was actually starting to kind of become something, and everybody was really excited about us playing in France in 1998. And I have a lot of big feelings about the coach, Steve Sampson, and him deciding at the last minute that we should play a 3-6-1 lineup.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
A lot of other things. But yeah, it was pretty poor performance. and just really disappointing, I think, after like all the momentum from the home World Cup. So that's number 2 for me.
I think that one makes me more upset because we actually had momentum.
Yeah.
Like for number 1, it's not the same. Speaking of which, how about you?
Yeah, so number 1 is our failure to qualify in 2018. So not being able to get a win or draw against Trinidad in 2017. Failure to qualify. And I think like the things that came out of that too, so like all of these players that were still probably players that could have really contributed. Yeah, like Josie Altidore and Tim Howard and Clint Dempsey, like everybody was done, right? So everybody except for Christian Pulisic on that team, I don't think ever played again. So played for us again, and definitely not the big name players. And so I think not only was it awful to not qualify and not be there for the World Cup in 2018 in Russia, but I think it also had like wider impacts on 2022 and even now. Like I feel like if we'd had that leadership, it would have probably been different for like those younger players like Pulisic and McKennie and those guys when they were coming through, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still think number 2 makes me the most upset.
Yeah. Well, at least you didn't have to live through it.
Yeah, that's true. There
was this guy named David Regi, and like he was a good player. He was playing, I think, in France someplace maybe, and he was a dual citizen and got his, like, I guess he had some like struggles like getting his citizenship, and so he got his citizenship like right before the World Cup started and never played with any of the other players, and like Steve Sampson decided it was a good idea to start him instead of Jeff Agoos, who had been snubbed in 1994 and everybody knew had like been in Mission Viejo training with all the players. And yeah, it was just a lot of poor decision making, I feel like. And it's funny because I listened to a podcast with Steve Sampson recently, and he kind of takes responsibility for it now. He's like, maybe I shouldn't have made all those decisions that I did, which is, I guess, kind of cool to hear. But yeah, it was a big bummer.
That's not fair. It's not.
Not nearly as bad as Torsten Frings, though. Like, I feel like on my deathbed, I'll still remember that terrible name and like see that shot in my head over and over again. It haunts me.
Your last word should be like, "I'm coming for you, Torsten Frings," or something. It's so funny.
That would be really funny. I will haunt you. All right, well, thanks for hanging out with us today on my 10th World Cup. Please tell me what terrible moments I forgot and what I got wrong. We want to hear from you.